हर जगह रियल एस्टेट एड्स 2 BHK न्यू लॉन्च फॉर 5 crores ओनली 3 BHK न्यू लॉन्च 10 crores ओनली ये ओनली होता है how can a middle class person even think of affording such real estate houses? Impossible. Market का rates तो बढ़ रहा है, but I don't think our salaries are catching up to that. Whatever. I think there is no other option but to make more money. But ये बनेगा कैसे? How do we make that kind of money? Maybe invest in lands. और lands खरीदने पे encroachment, security issues, too much. If only there was somebody who could help us with all these answers. Wait, I think I know just the right person for that.
Under construction projects inventory worth 6 lakh crores is stuck.
Wow.
In India.
Insane amount.
There are over 600 real estate projects stuck in Maharashtra alone. All the working professionals in the industry, guys, please don't give misinformation to make that sale. Right? You're playing with a person's life savings. ये आपको पता है कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, आपको लगता है कभी गट फीलिंग आती है यार प्रोजेक्ट कभी खत्म नहीं होगा, बिल्डर का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड बहुत खराब है. Don't sell that. Because अगर आपके कहने पे किसी ने 4 करोड़ डाल दिए, for me I look at that, okay, you know what, you've robbed the 4 crores from him. And that should be a criminal offense.
मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कोई इनसे पूछता रहेगा कि तूने क्या इंडस्ट्री का ठेका लेके रखा है, तो बोलेंगे हाँ मैंने ठेका लेके रखा है.
I've seen buyers crib even when we take them to the best projects, something that we like so much, but you know the project is here but the buyer's there. You know, if you were to get a sheikh from Dubai and sell him a 5 BHK on Andheri West, he'd be like, I don't like it, Habibi, you know, I want a palace. So there's no end to it. You just go on Saturday, Sundays, play Mayank aa raha hai kya? I'm like, listen, today I'm with somebody else because I didn't have a team. I'm so sorry, I'm booked out. Like, no worries, bro. I'm going to go to the... And he knew the tagging process, right? You just go like, okay, I came through Mayank. He's not here, but... And, you know, he'll write my name, this thing, and he'll sign across it.
In history comes out that, you know, about real estate education, so his name will surely be there. बचपन में किताबों में हमने पढ़ा था कि man is a social animal. Now, according to current times and trends, let me rephrase and correct that statement. Humans, or perhaps people, are social animals. We people created societies, and now societies take us ordinary people and brand them extraordinary. How? क्या होता है ना कि a lot of us ordinary people, we talk about the issues, we talk about how or what to do about them, but there are certain individuals, certain people who actually do something about it, create an impact, contribute to the society, and that's how society rewards them by giving it back to them by the means of branding them from ordinary to extraordinary. तो आज जो हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट है ना विद अस, ही इज वन सच एक्स्ट्रॉर्डिनरी पर्सन. काफी यंग एज पे ही हैज contributed to the society by means of content and education, especially into the real estate fraternity. Please help me welcome Mayank from Real Estate with Mayank fame. Mayank, welcome to the studio. And let me also introduce, well, he doesn't need an introduction as such. ये हमारे साथ जुड़ गए हैं एक तरीके से. He's become a brother to me. He's a partner to Brikkin now. Please help me also welcome Sagar bhai.
Thanks.
Guys.
Thank you so much for a lovely introduction. I've never been introduced like that by anyone. So, thank you for the kind words.
Absolutely. नहीं Mayank, this is an honest observation that I've seen. क्या होता है, हम लोग बहुत सारे लोग बात करते हैं, like I was just telling the audience, but उसके बारे में कुछ करना, to create an impact, like we were discussing, वो बहुत कम लोग कर पाते हैं. And those who are able to, they are rewarded by the society. That's exactly what you have done, right? So jumping to the deep end straight away, है ना, मैं सागर भाई से तो कुछ ना कुछ क्वेश्चंस पूछते रहता हूँ. Let me start with you. बहुत सारे लोग who have reached some place in their life, they are able to reach there because they know their why. बाकी सारे लोगों को उनका व्हाट पता होता है, हाउ पता होता है, व्हेन भी शायद उनको पता होता है, बट वो लोग ना अपने व्हाई पे क्लियर नहीं होते, एंड दैट इज व्हाई प्रोबब्ली दे आर नॉट एबल टू मेक देयर मार्क. व्हाट इज योर व्हाई?
Right, very good question, by the way. I think so. Little bit brief introduction, you know, for the viewers. I'm Mayank Agrawal, as you rightly introduced me. Um, I've been in real estate since the end of 2012. Now it's been about 11 years. We've got three companies in real estate: Green Cottage, Edstate, and Regoland. And we also, do content creation on Instagram with the name of Real Estate with Mayank. My why, right, was when I started real estate. When I got into real estate, I didn't have a real estate background. I'm an engineer, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. So when I got into real estate in 2012 end, right, and I got into real estate through land,
Interesting.
rural agricultural land acquisition in Maharashtra. Now, anyways, people think that, listen, real estate is the most opaque industry, the most terrible industry, sab chor hai, right? Well, let me tell you, if people talk like that about primary market, let me tell you, land
Oh
is
yeah.
way more, uh, opaque, right? Very unregulated industry. And of course, 11 years ago, it was even more unregulated. Now it's become, better. When I started off, I was very confused. What I realized over a period of time, when you go for some meetings, सामने वाला कुछ, fancy word झाड़ देगा आपके सामने, like floor rise or like FSI or TDR. At that point of time, it used to be fancy.
Right.
And I would be like, okay, I don't know what that means. And then what used to happen is I would go and tend to ask like a senior in the industry, someone who's probably 3 4 years who spent in the industry. And what I found out is they didn't know.
What are you saying?
Yes, and it happens a lot. You know, just get into any builder's office and just ask a sales manager, a simple question that, what is the FSI of your project that you're selling? They will not know it.
Are you serious?
100%.
I thought कि जितने builders होते हैं, developers होते हैं, they know ins and out of
Builders,
it.
developers know. The sales staff will not know it. Of course, builders should know everything, but the sales and you see, the sales staff is the most important
They are the face.
because they are the face. Today, if they give a client, a customer misinformation, customer books it, and after 3 years, when he doesn't get what he was promised by the sales staff, he will write an email to the builder. Now, उससे क्या होता है? Developer का नाम खराब होता है. Unfortunately, developer never quoted that, and that manager who has misrepresented the sale innocently, not purposely, he didn't know it. He's probably left real estate. Forget the company.
Correct.
So you see, this problem I noticed a lot. This is happening a lot, and there were very few informative courses on real estate. Till date, there are very few. If you do a simple Google search right now between stock market courses and real estate courses, you'll see the difference.
Yeah.
You can just do a split test right now. There are 100 times more stock market courses than real estate courses, right? So I always realize that people are misinformed in the industry, just like I was very clueless, very curious and clueless at the same time. Ki, what is this, what is that? And I never really found something that could answer everything,
Right.
or anyone that had answers to everything. So I always wanted to start an edtech or to get into the educational space in real estate by because I got into real estate,
Makes
right?
sense.
And that was my why, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So to actually demystify real estate, because what happens in real estate is such an expensive investment. You see, today if you were to buy a watch, right? Say you buy a watch of 20,000 rupees और मैंने आपको नकली घड़ी चिटका दी, for example, और एक नकली फोन चिपका दिया मैंने आपको. चिपकाना, it's very famous term in our industry. You lose 20,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, right? If I scam you, anything, you lose like 50, 40,000 rupees. However, what if I sell you a property जिसका title ही clear नहीं है? You see, you're playing very high stakes here. You can lose your life's savings. And I'll give you context. Right now in India, as per reports, RERA reports, under construction projects inventory worth 6 lakh crores is stuck
Wow.
in India.
Insane amount.
There are over 600 real estate projects stuck in Maharashtra alone. Can you imagine if you had invested 2 crores after saving, in your 40s, project gets stuck or delayed? आदमी खत्म हो जाता है उसमें.
Like you
It's the
rightly
worst
said.
thing that can happen to somebody.
And such about that if you have taken a loan and imagine that 3 years are over, you are paying the EMIs and it has been like 5 years, 10 years, and the EMIs are getting deducted, but you still haven't got the delivery of the flat.
Worst. खत्म हो जाता आदमी. So this is the why we wanted to actually add value. And now I'm not saying we'll end up solving this problem, but I think if the end user is educated, the end buyer is educated, there will be lesser scams. Or not
Absolutely.
even scams, there'll be less mismanagement.
They would be more aware about what they're getting into. एक educated decision वो लोग ले पाएंगे, I think, I believe. So, Mayank, I want to ask कि these courses or this educational thing that you're coming up with, who all is this going to cater to? कौन
So it caters to, of course, the sales staff of builders, caters to channel partners, brokers, real estate agents, uh, architects, working professionals, civil engineers, anyone in the construction finance space, any chartered accountant that wants to get into the real estate space, basically any working professional in real estate.
How
We
amazing.
design specific courses for specific job profiles.
Okay. Can you run me through this? Ki how does it work?
Yeah. So we design our main flagship course is basically a 360-degree real estate mastery course where we teach all the way from construction, the right practices of civil, architecture, construction finance, if you're a builder, how to raise funds, right? The home loan process and the retail banking process if you're a customer, right? Marketing, sales, interior designing, accounting, GST, taxation, rules, regulations.
Very important.
You must know the regulations, laws, real estate laws, documentation. So we've designed like a 360-degree course, and it's a 1-year program. It's a pure upskilling program. It's a mix between, it's a hybrid between pre-recorded and live sessions. It's totally online.
How amazing. So, two questions from that, and then Sagar bhai, I want to come to you with another follow up. मुझे समझना था कि अभी इसमें से how मतलब who are the teachers, who are the ones, who are the faculty here, कौन पढ़ा रहा है ये चीजें? Are you doing this all by yourself? That is the first question. The second question was कि अब ये जो भी बाकी के peripherals हैं, how does this get interwoven into this one whole course? First, asking the first question कि कौन पढ़ा रहा है?
Right. So I think what we wanted to really do is to any of my faculty that has curated a specific course for a job profile, they are all actual working professionals in the real estate.
Oh, that's very interesting.
So we haven't really so even for example our law course, right? It's been made by an advocate practicing in high court, right? And not we didn't get a teacher. I have nothing against teachers. Please don't get me wrong. Take it the wrong way.
Right.
But we didn't get teachers because we feel the best way to learn, we want to make the person ready for the market, and the best way you learn is through stories, through actual experiences. In fact, I'll tell you, our succession laws, maximum cases of litigation सब झगड़े succession की वजह से होते हैं. Somebody dies and all the right. That course was taken by a very renowned advocate, member of the bar council.
Mhm.
Right, it was a very good pro bono gesture on his end. And during the recording, I also went and I wanted to see it. And of course, I've read the succession law, but the way he explained it, he didn't even read the act. It was through case studies, through his court hearings. It was just unbelievable. So I think that's why and even like for example, a civil. We look at the construction management course. The person who started was talking about his experiences. When he was blasting the Konkan belt to make tunnels. The actual on-site difficulties. Locals aake rada kar diya. So all these things, textbooks can't teach you, of course. But
Very nice,
obviously,
very nice.
we try to incorporate theory with
With the practical knowledge.
Yeah.
True, because I myself am a civil engineer, right? कॉलेज से पढ़ के निकले थे तो हमें कुछ आइडिया नहीं था कि कैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन होता है. सब पढ़ लिया, इवन साइट विजिट्स होते थे, बट व्हेन यू एक्चुअली लैंड ऑन द साइट, दैट इज व्हेन यू रियलाइज कि बॉस, इट्स अ कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट वर्ल्ड आउट देयर. सो आई थिंक दिस इज अ ग्रेट इनिशिएटिव, getting people who are actually on the ground teaching. I will come to the second follow-up question with you, but first अगर मैं मुझे आपसे समझना था, आपने और हमने काफी बातें कर ली हैं
Right.
in the previous few podcasts, right? What is your take on this whole education thing in real estate? हमने रेरा के बारे में काफी डिस्कशंस कर लिए. हमने ये भी समझ लिया कि यार रेरा इज अ गुड इनिशिएटिव, डेफिनेटली दे आर केटरिंग टू डेवलपर्स. यस, होम बायर्स के उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा कर दिया है. अब ब्रोकर्स के लिए एग्जाम्स आ गए, उसमें इतनी सारी प्रॉब्लम्स थी. वी हैड अ फ्यू पॉइंटर्स फॉर रेरा एज वेल. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस, व्हाट मयंक हैज पुट फोर्थ, व्हाट इज योर टेक? ये एजुकेशन क्या कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है, कैसे मतलब
What he has done, I also had thought once of doing it, thought about it. ठीक है? क्योंकि किसी ना किसी को इनिशिएटिव लेना पड़ेगा. सो आई वुड लाइक टू थैंक हिम, लाइक on behalf of entire real estate fraternity, that you are doing a very great thing.
No doubt,
Because,
no doubt.
वो बोलते हैं ना, कुछ लोग होते हैं जो किसी और के लिए कुछ करते हैं, ये पूरे इंडस्ट्री के लिए कुछ कर रहे हैं. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कोई इनसे पूछता रहेगा कि तूने क्या इंडस्ट्री का ठेका लेके रखा है, तो बोलेंगे हाँ मैंने ठेका लेके रखा है. तो I mean, like, I don't know, but it's a very big statement. But I think in future, if in history comes out that about real estate education, so his name will surely be there. And apart from that, there are a lot of other people as well who might have thought about this real estate thing, but no one has been able to execute in which the manner he has done it. So it's a very good thing. But real estate में ये बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत था, क्योंकि आज मुझे अगर डिजिटल मार्केटिंग सीखना है तो मुझे कोर्स मिलेगा. मैंने NMIMS से MBA किया, लेकिन मुझे MBA इन मार्केटिंग नहीं करना था, मुझे MBA इन रियल एस्टेट करना था. लेकिन उसका कोर्स था यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ शिकागो, इलिनोआ यूनिवर्सिटी, विच इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट यूनिवर्सिटीज इन द वर्ल्ड. तो उसका फीस है 40-50 लाख रुपए. तो मैं 2 साल के लिए वहां जाऊं, मेरा बिजनेस छोड़ के, एंड वो रियल एस्टेट में सीखूं. और फिर अमेरिका में ओपन हाउस बोलते हैं, यहाँ पे आके बोलते हैं लॉन्च. फिर वो टर्मिनोलॉजीज के साथ कंफ्यूजन क्रिएट करना. तो मैंने बोला नहीं यार, छोड़ दो अभी, और क्या करेंगे, इट्स लाइक. तो फिर मैं जाता था, जो भी बुड्ढे बुड्ढे ब्रोकर्स होते हैं, जो 20-20, 30-30 साल के एक्सपीरियंस वाले होते हैं, एक्सपीरियंस ब्रोकर्स, तो उनके पास जाके मैं सीखता था कि भाई इसका क्या मतलब होता है, उसका क्या मतलब होता है. बिल्डर्स के साथ मीटिंग करके क्वेश्चन आंसर्स. तो एक टाइम पे तो मेरे को बोला गया था, सागर कितने साल, सर क्या करूं, मतलब इसका कुछ है ही नहीं. आई मीन, लाइक, देयर आर नो बुक्स in which I can learn, or there are no courses or such like that. Real estate education was one of the very important thing which had to be there, but it was not there. But now अभी जैसे कि इन्होंने स्टार्ट किया है, प्लस दूसरी बहुत सारी कॉलेजेस है जो स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं, एंड ही इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट बिकॉज ही इज giving the real life experience and case studies. Because usually मैंने भी एक कोर्स किया है, और इन्होंने भी एक रियल एस्टेट का कोर्स किया है सेम जगह से. और वो जगह, मतलब मुझे नहीं पता आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या था, लेकिन मेरा एक्सपीरियंस ये था कि पूरा कोर्स खत्म होने के बाद मैं सोच रहा था ये सब अपने मुंबई रियल एस्टेट में कैसे काम आएगा. मतलब जैसे कि उसमें बताया था कमर्शियल लीजिंग के ऊपर, कि आज अगर मैं कोई जगह किसी को रेंट आउट करता हूँ लीज पे, इमेजिन अ बैंक और अ रेस्टोरेंट या एक होटल को मैं लीज आउट करता हूँ, तो पहले फर्स्ट ईयर में मैं 1 महीने का रेंट ब्रोकरेज चार्ज करूंगा, सेकेंड ईयर में आधा, थर्ड ईयर में आधा, फोर्थ ईयर में आधा, और 10 साल में ऐसे कंटिन्यूस एवरी ईयर आधा. मैं तो ऐसे ही करोड़ों रुपए गिन लिए थे माइंड में मैंने. फिर जब मैंने असली में डील क्लोज की, तो पता चला 5 साल का अग्रीमेंट हो गया, 9 साल का अग्रीमेंट हो गया, जो बैंक लीज करती है. 1 रुपया भी नहीं दिया बैंक ने. एंड जो ओनर है उसने डील किया कि भाई एक ही बार दूंगा मैं ब्रोकरेज, भले बैंक 20 साल रहे, 30 साल रहे, मैं तुझे 1 रुपया भी नहीं दूंगा. करना है? मैंने बोला नहीं करना है. उसने डायरेक्टली बैंकर को कांटेक्ट किया और डायरेक्ट डील क्लोज करने की कोशिश की. या फिर मुझे ओके बोलना पड़ा.
Mayank, are we catering to these issues?
100%. So we have a chapter called real estate brokerage. And here's the fun part. We have another chapter called real estate brokerage unfiltered. So in the unfiltered, we've covered a lot of stories like this. In fact, ये तो इधर आज ऐसा हो गया कि lot of brokers and real estate agents, for some clients, even give passbacks.
Yeah.
Which is
have covered
terrible. Yes, we've covered
Passbacks.
that.
What are you
Extremely
saying?
brutal and honest. This is what prepares someone for the market, right? So we've covered all these practical topics.
मतलब
Basically,
deep down and dirty सब cover किए हैं.
prepare the person for the market.
That is how it should be, right? ऐसा कोई course ही नहीं है यार existing.
Another thing
Construction
what happens-
management है, but
Absolutely.
nobody talks about the real estate. Yeah, please go on.
So for example, especially for people who are in sales or something, we want to also share our inner circle contacts with them. That's another added advantage of this. I'll just give a very easy example, but we do this for all job profiles. Since we're talking about brokerage, I'll just stick to that example. Say an aspiring real estate agent were to take our course, right? He finishes the entire curriculum. He'll have obviously live mentorship classes with me as well. Now tomorrow my objective is so that to set him up for the actual market, right? Now assuming say he wants to sell a project, a Lodha park perhaps in Mumbai. we can actually give him numbers of the sourcing manager,
How amazing.
right? We can give him numbers because you're in the industry,
Wow.
right? Of
So
course, we
this is
give him,
something like जो placements होता है colleges में, something closer to
just
that.
go meet
No,
that
but
guy,
more better
understand.
than that. कॉलेज में प्लेसमेंट होता है, कॉलेज वाला ये तो नहीं बोलेगा कि ये इन्फोसिस कंपनी का एचआर है, इसका नंबर लो, इससे बात कर लो.
Yeah.
तो
Whatever contacts I have, in the best of my ability, I'll try to give it to the person, right? So one person, for example, one student of mine wanted to get into warehousing.
Mhm.
I had a couple of contacts. Luckily, that worked out for him. I shared a person's number who's in the warehousing space in South India, and they just,
वाओ,
Great.
निस्वार्थ भावना से वो कर देना.
So that's the advantage when you have working professionals making the course, because with their years in the industry, they also have their contacts which they can share, which teachers cannot share. I've had students who ask me what is better, which housing portal is better, housing.com, Magic Bricks, 99 acres, right? And I give my honest opinion. And then they go by. We not
We
give
did
out
branding
games,
of them
yeah.
as well.
We'll not give. We'll not give which name is best, but
For that they have to check your rate,
Yeah,
perhaps. Yeah.
you have to call
Yeah.
me.
right. नहीं, but this is great. Totally understand. मेरे को ये समझना था मयंक कि noble, great initiative that you've taken. इसके पहले I think you've dealt in lands and brokerages. You have a construction company of sorts now. Let's talk about content creation a little bit and education. When you were starting the whole journey, the first thing you said, when I entered the real estate, मैंने पहले lands में deal किया. Good. A lot of people are dealing in lands and a lot of people are doing that. अब जैसे हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि a lot of trends, social media trends, they come to our real estate industry a little later. FMCG में, e-commerce में ये already बहुत trending था on Instagram, on YouTube and videos and all. So what transpired in your head? वो when you were taking the first video या पहली बार आप कुछ बना रहे थे ना, तो what are the challenges you faced in this whole thing? And what was the first thought that was going through your head? Was there nervousness? Were you scared? क्या चला रहा दिमाग में मतलब?
Yeah. So I started my channel 2.5 years ago during COVID. Now, in COVID, I think we all were stuck to Instagram. There was nothing else to do. And in fact, it was my wife's idea, to be honest. I'll definitely give her credit for that. She had told me that, listen, why don't you start an Instagram page? You talk so much about real estate. You feel you're obsessed and all. Just give your bhashan on the camera so more people can, this is the exact conversation I had with her, right? And because she comes from a fashion background, she makes shoes basically for females. And when you see, when Instagram started, your first kind of influencers were fashionistas.
Right.
So she was very well versed with the platform. And she's like, look at this fashion blogger, look at this fashion blogger, they have so much reach. Why aren't you doing anything? And I'm like, okay, that makes sense, right? So of course, one was to get reach. And you know what? It's the best, cheapest, and fastest way to get organic reach. Today, listen, the phone is right here. You can just shoot something. You don't need a DSLR for Instagram. In fact, the in-app editing, software is great. You can just make a reel free of cost and post it. If it goes viral, well and good. Like I posted a video, for example, so when we started posting, I was a little nervous. I mean, I think nervousness is a very strong word to use. It was out of my comfort zone. I'm like, okay, I've never shown my face in front of camera. So in fact, if you go back to my previous reels, my reels were like this with my finger. 4 checklists, 4 points to look at when you buy an under construction property. Point 1. And literally my camera would be like this. Point 1, point 2, point 3. So it took me a week, and then after a week, I became the face.
Right.
Right. And then, the nervousness sort of goes. But yeah, that starting take that plunge, I think that's what's important. And, I'm so glad I took it. And, I think I was posting we posted 10 reels, nothing really happened. And I was like, okay, bahut ho gaya hai. I'm done with Instagram. It's like, luckily my 11th reel, and I'm not even joking, that would have probably been my last consistent reel. Because I was pretty demotivated. I posted it and it went viral randomly.
Which one was it?
It was the checklist reel. Checklist to buy a property, part 4. I still remember that. That time I had about like 800 followers or 700 followers because your friends were nice enough to follow you in the first place. And I posted that reel, woke up in the morning to like 4,000 followers. I'm like,
Amazing.
kya ho gaya yaar? Something's wrong with my eyes or the app. Something's wrong. I opened that reel and it had 100k views.
What are you saying?
100k.
Matlab, you posted, you slept,
Overnight,
woke
yeah.
up the next day and
Yeah, like I posted it
Boom.
like at, I would say, 4 p.m. And the next day I saw my phone about 11ish, 100K views. And I'm like, you know what? Now to put perspective, 100K is the size of a stadium, or big cricket stadium.
Right.
All those views for free.
Amazing.
And I was like, okay, this is a great way to reduce your customer acquisition cost in any business, and just increase reach. I've met some great guys through Instagram, through my DMs, you networked. It's priceless, I would say.
Beautiful. Follow through question. Key, when you create your content, what is your source? How much time do you actually spend on researching about? मतलब जब start किया होगा तब शायद ऐसा होगा कि यार कैसे topic आया तो बना लिया. But now that you had 581K followers on Insta, there must be a process, right? I'm not saying कि it's an organized or not. Like you were mentioning something very amazing about your approach to this.
Yeah.
I would want you to tell it to our audience as well. But मुझे ये समझना था कि यार what is your process? कि do you open an app? Do you do some research? Do you have 2-3 different sources कि यार ये है इसमें से सबसे data coalesce किया and then you make a reel? How do you do it?
So, I like I said earlier as well, I'm a very unorganized influencer with my content. Obviously, with my companies, I'm super organized.
गौर से सुने सारे audience. He is claiming it himself, but I do not agree with you on this part. मतलब on the face, nobody can say this. You're an unorganized. Anyways, please continue.
So, of course, with my companies, I'm super organized. It's all about SOPs, KRAs, discipline and Excel sheets and spreadsheets, right? We have CRM and everything, right? However, when it comes to Instagram, I don't know why I think I'm a very lazy influencer. Please don't follow what I do when it comes to Instagram. I don't think I'll be a great Instagram coach. I just make it randomly. To be honest, very randomly. Though I'm trying to improve, and I'm also trying to post more often. I post 3 reels a week, which is low. I know that. Trying to get that to about at least 5 or 6, because your other businesses keep you busy, and of course, Instagram is super important at the same time as well. So that's one thing. I mean, ideally, what I'm striving to do is to create a content bucket for the entire month.
Interesting.
Right? For the entire month. So you look at 20-24 reels, create the topic, do your research, make the script, and shoot 24 reels in 3 days. Right? And then give it to your editor, which you have a production team. So sab ready ho jata hai. You don't have to shoot every day. Because some days you'll be super busy with, your other work.
Good idea.
And things like that. I think that's the most crisp way to do it. I had in fact done it a couple of months ago. But then again, it's sort of
Consistency.
Yeah.
So my question remains: ki, how do you finalize a topic? Let's say, what research do you do behind it? Is there any specific, like you have said, कि मैं CRE matrix
Yes,
study करता हूँ,
absolutely,
index tab,
absolutely.
I take the data from it. But इस पे एक data है, ठीक है, CRE matrix पे जो भी register के office में जो भी registrations are done, they are taking that data and putting it there. But now there's a twist to the tale. There are some registrations that are done in black also. उसमें black है, white component है. Does this affect your decision? मतलब how do you decide on कि यार ये करना है?
जहाँ black involved है, there is even God can't tell you, right?
Okay, fair.
पूरा गोलमाल,
Black is always inside,
always inside.
आपका
And outside.
कलर चेंज करना पड़ेगा शर्ट का.
देखो पूरा white है मेरा.
Right.
Full white, corporate आदमी.
White.
So coming back, if there's cash involved, listen, nobody's gonna know, right? You can't even tell. But one issue with real estate again is getting the right data. So I mean, I'll obviously look at Edstate, CRE matrix, because they have very good data, right? But for general topics, right, I actually want to refer to government notifications. Right now, there's so many companies, prop tech companies are really guilty for this. They post wrong blogs, and this is not done. If you go online, you type a topic, you might even, there's a lot of misinformation out there.
True.
Right? And see, for them, they're making blogs just for the SEO juice.
Right.
It's probably been written by ChatGPT at this point, or probably no, ChatGPT has still been correct. It's been written by probably 19-year-old interns.
Right.
Just keyword. So it's become very transactional. You don't genuinely, you have to be very careful with your sources, especially in real estate.
Absolutely.
Because government notifications, what we refer to, official government notifications. Most of my content comes from an experience I've had in the industry.
Okay.
To be honest, most of it is, we don't refer to the internet that much. Yeah, we don't, to be honest. For data, we do. Like, for example, if you were to ask me how many flats were sold last quarter,
But
then
that
we'll
is also
discern.
practically not possible because
Yeah.
if you see, this is again a topic. So imagine a developer is selling 200 flats in 10 days or 20 days in a project. So the registrations are not done. Only the booking amount has been taken.
Correct.
So for the registration, you need minimum 10% down payment, after which the agreement can be signed. So they pay the 10% also, but after that also agreement is not signed. Why? For the client, the agreement is signed, but in actual the agreement is not signed because what these developers do, that client का registration अलग होता है और developer का registration अलग होता है. जैसे कि मैंने अगर बुकिंग अमाउंट दे दिया, मैं रजिस्ट्रेशन ऑफिस पहुंच गया, मैंने साइन कर दिया, मुझे लगा कि मेरा अग्रीमेंट साइन हो चुका है, लेकिन एक्चुअल में जब तक वो डेवलपर वहां पे जाके साइन नहीं करेगा, तो डेवलपर क्या करता है, 1 महीने बाद जाता है, जब वहां पे 100 अग्रीमेंट्स 200 अग्रीमेंट्स जमा हो जाते हैं, सब एक साथ साइन करके फिर वहां से निकलते हैं, ताकि वो जो जितनी भी ये वेबसाइट्स है जहां पे डेटा आता है, तो वो डेटा आने में 2-3 महीने या 4 महीने लग जाते हैं.
There is a lag of actual data.
Yes.
Yeah.
तो आपको पता ही नहीं चलेगा. अभी इमेजिन करो कि मैं आपके पास आया हूँ प्रॉपर्टी खरीदने के लिए, यू आर द डेवलपर एंड आई टेल यू कि आप मुझे बोल रहे हो ये बिक गया है, लेकिन मैं रेरा की साइट पे देख रहा हूँ ये बुक्ड नहीं है. बोला सर सॉरी हमने ले लिया पैसा, लेकिन एक्चुअल में वो बिका ही नहीं है. क्यों? क्योंकि वो लोग उसको होल्ड कर रहे हैं. इसको बोलते हैं प्रॉपर्टी होर्डिंग. एंड थोड़े देर बाद, क्योंकि उन्होंने कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट तो निकाल लिया, अभी क्या करेंगे ये लोग, इसके स्लैब्स बढ़ाएंगे और फिर बाद में रिलीज करेंगे मार्केट में 20% 30% प्रीमियम प्राइस में.
Right.
तो अगर टमाटो होर्डिंग पे इशू होते हैं, तो प्रॉपर्टी होर्डिंग पे भी इश्यूज थोड़े बहुत तो बनते हैं. आई मीन लाइक यू शुड टेक एक्शन अगेंस्ट दिस. क्यों प्रॉपर्टी होर्डिंग करनी है? मुझे फ्लैट चाहिए तो अब दो ना मुझे.
बट इसमें कितना स्कोप ऑफ एरर एंड कंफ्यूजन है यार यहाँ पे, कि आपने 1 महीने बाद जाके अगर डेवलपर इज गोइंग टू साइन ऑन दोस डॉक्यूमेंट्स, तब तक तो वो मार्केट में ओपन दिख रहा है. मतलब इसको इन हिज हेड होम
नहीं, 1 महीने पहले ओपन नहीं दिख रहा है.
ओके
ओपन आज दिख रहा है, आज मैंने बुकिंग किया है.
राइट
मेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन 2 महीने के बाद होगा.
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि उसकी जो लीगल टीम है उसके पास तो 200 अग्रीमेंट है साइन करने की. वो 2 महीने बाद रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा और बिल्डर साइन करेगा तीसरे महीने, और उसमें साइट में अपग्रेड होगा चौथे महीने. तो 4-5 महीने तक मुझे वो रिकॉर्ड नहीं दिखेगा.
तो मतलब क्या आप ये भी कह रहे हो एट द सेम टाइम कि ये 3 महीना, चौथे महीने का तो चलो
हाँ
इन प्लेटफॉर्म्स पर अपडेट नहीं हो रहा है,
राइट.
बट इन द ऑफिस ऑफ
हाँ.
रजिस्ट्रेशंस लेट्स से
हाँ
वो 3 महीने तक अगर डेवलपर ने साइन नहीं किया तो टेक्निकली इट्स नॉट साइंड.
हाँ
टेक्निकली दैट प्रॉपर्टी
हाँ.
स्टिल ओपन राइट.
राइट
वो बुक नहीं है.
राइट.
तो अभी ऐसे में मैं आ गया और मैं बोलता हूँ कि यार मुझे यही वाला यूनिट चाहिए, मुझे यही चाहिए, तो वहां पे क्या डिस्पैरिटी कुछ हो सकता है?
डिस्पैरिटी कुछ नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि आपका जो सिस्टम है, जो डेवलपर्स जो लोग सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करते हैं उसके ऊपर वो ऑलरेडी बुक दिखा है ना यूनिट.
ओके
क्योंकि
ओके
टोकन आ गया
वहां
कस्टमर
पे
का.
इशू नहीं है,
नहीं, वहां पे इशू
बट डेटा का इशू है.
डेटा का बहुत बड़ा इशू है. बिकॉज एज हम लोग को बोला जाता है कि रेरा आप साइट चेक कर लो, आपको पता चलेगा कौन सी यूनिट्स बुकड है कौन सी यूनिट्स बुक नहीं है. रेरा में ओपन दिख रही है, मैं बिल्डर के ऑफिस में जा रहा हूँ, इट्स क्लोज. तो इट इज अ वेरी बिग कंफ्यूजन. एंड अचानक से 3-4-5 महीने बाद, अभी जैसे कि श्राद्ध का महीना आ गया, पितृपक्ष का महीना आ गया, बुकिंग्स नहीं हो रही है, सर एक यूनिट कैंसिल हो गई है, प्लीज आप आ जाइए हम कुछ करके दे देंगे. बुकिंग कब हुई थी?
इंटरेस्टिंग.
दैट्स द कैच.
ये बड़ा गेम खेला जा रहा है यहाँ पे.
But I think that happens also in every industry, right? Even if you were supposed to, sell a shirt or anything, people always say, bro, last pass available, man. Last ticket available. I think that sense of, urgency, fear of loss in every industry. Look at the diamond industry for that matter, right? So I think that happens in most industries. But of course, here, even like normal content, like if you were to, probably want to know regulation, कि regulation क्या है, you will see some prop tech company write a blog about it, which is absolutely wrong. I've read very wrong blogs about like the DCPR. Is the guy who's written the blog a liaising architect? He's not, right? So I think that is very important.
But
right?
is it a cyber crime? Like
No, not a cyber. No, not a, it's a
Okay.
growth hack in fact for these companies, right? It's an absolute growth hack which will give normal people misinformation. So a real estate content.
मतलब there is no regulation, right? कि आपने कोई भी content डाला है, who's there to regulate and check कि आपने डाला है, सही डाला है कि नहीं डाला है?
Right.
It is the responsibility of the creator himself कि भाई whatever he's putting out, it has to be up to the mark. I believe that is it. मतलब हो सकता है कि future में जाके कभी कोई regulation
Also,
आए, but
interestingly, if you look at Instagram influencers, real estate Instagram influencers, they're very few firstly in India, and I probably know all of them right now. All of them are actual working professionals. You can count them and you'll see all of them actually are in real estate. Whereas if you look at finance influencers, they're not probably in the finance, they're influencers.
Right.
So you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yes,
With
yes.
real estate, you can't just, okay, listen, I go to college, let me become a real estate influencer. Maybe you could, but there are a lot of things you need, because जो दिखता है और जो असलियत में ना बहुत अलग है.
So unless and until you have your hands-on experience with this thing, matlab, even if you try to become one,
I'm not saying it's not possible, but I'm just saying that it's significantly easier if you are in the industry.
But right now, I think there are some, girls, like beautiful looking girls, and like, who are already have a reach of, 100K plus followers. They are, slowly coming into the real estate background, and, obviously, all developers want कि अच्छी दिखने वाली लड़की
glamour
चाहिए
तो
ताकि
चाहिए.
ग्लैमर चाहिए ताकि ज्यादा लोग वो वीडियो को देखे. उन लड़कियों को like 50,000 1 lakh rupees ऐसे ही मिल रहा है. So what do you think like about this thing?
I mean, so
Like other
this,
people coming into this industry?
absolutely, I think it's good only because at least उस बहाने flat बिक जाए. So it's good for the industry, I feel.
Competition.
I mean, it's
ठीक है यार, मतलब
no, it's not about.
people are secure in their positions. से अब क्या करना है? आओ
You
competition.
can't really control or stop competition, number one, no matter how hard you try, right? And if you see fundamentally, like in places like Dubai, LA, there are only
Oh
girls
my
selling,
God. Crazy.
right? So
That's
I mean,
crazy.
even then, do guys don't sell? Not sell? Of course, guys sell. A very good friend of mine had gone to Shobha Realty there, but he's a guy, right? And not the best looking guy. Let me be honest. Sorry, I won't give his name, but master sales guy. He still sold,
Right.
because he had that grip on his clients and his home buyers.
Right.
I think competition. I mean,
यार ये आना है, मतलब I think it's an inevitability. Like I said कि trends are catching up onto real estate industry a little later than all the others. तो I think ये भी एक trend है. बाकी सारे industries में भी glamour is always there. अब it's a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter.
perhaps it depends. I've never felt like, listen, I'm a male, so I have a lesser advantage. I think it's I've never really actually paid attention to it also, and neither have the women. I think everybody's doing what they want to do, and everyone is doing well. And yeah, never thought about the gender equality or inequality. Like it's never come in my head.
But
to be
there will
honest.
be little difference, no? Obviously. Like
हाँ यार, see,
थोड़ा तो difference होता है.
that is going to exist. उसके लिए we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's a hard fact.
So have you thought about anything like hiring a beautiful girl for future
Why?
reasons?
He doesn't need यार. See, it's about that ना. आपने अपना IP बना लिया एक बार यार. You've made your name. उसके बाद ठीक है. Right. So these girls are going to come, and मतलब full respect and full power to them. They will come. They'll make their own marks and they'll do well.
Also, what I feel is you want the right client coming to you. You don't want a client coming to you because you have a good-looking girl, because he's not going to buy anyways.
True. Correct.
And that'll waste my time more. So it's a double-edged sword. You want serious clients. Now see, when I speak to a client, I know he's coming to buy a property. Why else will he talk to me?
True.
But you see, with girls, they might just try to people can be shady, right?
Can be.
For
Understatement.
sure, right? So I think for girls it's also a disadvantage, because today if you're a good-looking girl, there'll be 10 clients just coming to you because they want to talk to you, not because they want to buy a flat from you.
I
That'll
think
waste your time.
he has just posted with his wife over there. Otherwise, girls might also be approaching him. He's like a chocolate boy in real estate.
Not sure about how chocolatey I am.
ऐसा हुआ?
Let's leave that to your wife. But yeah, नहीं, I'm just joking. नहीं, but ठीक है यार, ये it's an inevitability. ये होना है तो होगा, नहीं होना नहीं होगा. That's fair. Sagar bhai, I also wanted to understand your point on this also. जैसे I asked Mayank, कि he does a certain process. He has a process before he creates his content. What is your process? आप कैसा सोचते हो? मैंने आपका एक रील देखा था, बहुत इनोवेटिव था. Let me also be very open and tell you, the one in which you become the genie and you're coming out of that there's a female who's rubbing
Genie, yeah.
she's rubbing a lamp, which is like a electric kettle, and he sort of प्रकट होते हैं सागर भाई out of thin air, and he's like, yeah, I'm your genie. That was an innovative concept. किसी ने ज़्यादा use नहीं किया. That was well executed. So how do you come up with these ideas?
See, I don't have a content writer or something like that. नहीं तो मैं भी इनके जितने followers होते थे मेरे.
I also don't have a content.
That is there, but that is completely different. I am like, he said he's a lazy. I am like more lazier. So मैं it's like just आ जाओ कर देते हैं, वीडियो बना देते हैं. So I have a something like kind of little bit of creativity kind of thing. So on the spot कुछ जो mind में आ गया कि this is the flat, इसमें ये करते हैं. So I directly just jump into it and के we should start in this way and this is how we go. तो ऐसे कुछ कुछ reels में अच्छे views आए हुए हैं and yeah, it's like going good, but you should keep doing it again and again. And the main motto is again like as he said, there are two things: one, the number of views that you get, and the number of clients that you are getting out of it. हालांकि मेरे वीडियो में 100 के व्यूज चले गए, लेकिन अगर मेरे पास एक भी क्लाइंट नहीं आया तो वो मतलब नहीं बनता. सो आई यूज दिस इन अ डिफरेंट मैनर कि आई वांट the flat buying process more easier. Imagine you are a client, you are coming to me, I'm telling you, Shubham, I'll send you the link of my Instagram channel or my YouTube channel. Just go over there, whichever your flat you like, you just send me the link, I'll show you that flat. यानी कि आपको 10 फ्लैट आके देखने की जरूरत नहीं है, 2-3 घंटा वेस्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है, सिर्फ आपको जो पसंद आता है वही मैं आपको दिखाऊंगा और डील कर दीजिए.
This is like your own listing platform of sorts.
Yes.
You're making Instagram your own listing platform. Amazing.
So I have closed some deals like that. मेरे एक दुबई के जो बायर थे, नॉट ऑब्वियसली बाइंग बट रेंटल्स, लंदन के मेरे एक क्लाइंट थे, फिर एक क्लाइंट ऑस्ट्रेलिया के थे, एंड इनफैक्ट दिल्ली के एंड वो सब. इमेजिन यू आर कमिंग, यू आर बुकिंग अ फ्लाइट, यू आर स्टेइंग इन होटल्स एंड लाख 2 लाख रुपए आपका खर्चा हो रहा है खाली ये सब चीजों में, जो फ्लैट का एक डिपॉजिट होता है. तो वो आपका बच गया ना. अभी आप सिर्फ ऑनलाइन वीडियो देखो, फाइनल करो, टोकन ट्रांसफर करो, एंड उसके बाद डायरेक्ट आप आओगे एयरपोर्ट से, हम आपको लेने आएंगे डायरेक्ट फ्लैट में, चाबी देंगे, डन.
Perfect. Mayank, I wanted to ask you one more thing. थोड़ा सा हमने काफी एजुकेशन के बारे में बात कर लिया. I wanted to ask a little something different. कि यार अभी ना कॉमन मैन की बात करते हैं थोड़ा सा. इन्फ्लेशन, रियल एस्टेट रेट्स आर स्काई रॉकेटिंग. लेट्स बी ऑनेस्ट. ठीक है, लिमिटेड लैंड है तो एफएसआईज भी सॉर्ट ऑफ लिमिटेड हैं. अब उसमें जो रीडेवलपमेंट्स हो रहे हैं उसमें काफी सारे मैच बॉक्स हाउसेस भी आ रहे हैं, राइट? लेसर स्पेस इन हायर मनी. इवन इफ देयर इज हायर स्पेस, द मनी इज इक्विवेलेंटली या एक्सपोनेंशियली मोर हाई. अभी हाउ डज वन मिडिल क्लास पर्सन कैन इवन अस्पायर और थिंक टू बाय सच हाउसेस? यार मतलब 5-5, 10-10 करोड़ के घर है. क्या होता है ना, आप पसंद आपको वही आता है जो आप खरीद नहीं पाते. अभी ये एक मिडिल क्लास अगर व्यक्ति है who's living off on a salary, he has kids, he has expenses in the city, and in city like Mumbai or tier 1 cities जहाँ पे rates are so high, how does one cope? What would you suggest? कैसे करना चाहिए? हो भी सकता है क्या ये?
Simple answer, just make more money. Jokes apart, what happens is, as a buyer, you can never get what you want, right? I've seen buyers crib even when we take them to the best projects, something that we like so much, but the project is here but the buyer's there. I've seen a client like make fun of a 40 crore flat, like, oh, I don't like, yeah. So it's relative, there's no end to it. There's no end to things that you can like. If you were to get a sheikh from Dubai and sell him a 5 BHK on Andheri West, he'll be like, I don't like it, Habibi, I want a palace. So there's no end to it. So you as a home buyer or any home buyer should be realistic. It's extremely important, right? Be realistic. Don't buy what you cannot buy. Make a trade-off. Either you get a larger space or you get an inferior location.
Okay.
You have to make that trade-off, right? So for example, if you're looking at if your budget, for example, let's give Bombay's example. So if your budget is about, say, 5 crores, for example, but you want a 4-bed, please, South Bombay is not for you.
Right.
Yes, you can get a good 2 BHK in 5 crores.
Right.
But 4 BHK is practically impossible. Right. Now, you as a home buyer then must make a trade-off. Okay, listen, am I willing to go to, perhaps a Thane or any other location where, 5 crores is, great.
Goregaon.
Yeah, go to Goregaon instead. See, because the market will never change for you.
That is true.
Right? It's never going to happen. So you have to be realistic, bite the bullet and, don't cry.
Fair.
Everybody has their own circumstances. Fair. And you have to make that plunge. See, the prices are expensive because other people are buying at that price.
Right. Which means they are making more money. Which brings me to your first statement. Earn more money or make more money.
Yeah. Sorry to sound capitalist.
No, but that's fine. That's fair. It is a capitalistic world. जितना जल्दी हम accept कर लेंगे उतना हमारे लिए अच्छा है. Now if I had to throw one question, and I'm going to throw the same question at you as well, कि अब ये make more money, real estate, Sagar bhai, you had only pointed out कि most number of millionaires come from real estate industry itself. Now if we had to sort of catch a hold on that first statement that you passed here, make more money, how can one do that via real estate itself?
Okay, so I mean, there are various, avenues, right? I won't get into the nitty gritties of how to make money as an architect, as a builder, but I think whenever I've interacted with someone super successful, I don't want to sound like an old person giving cliched gyan,
But even if you were, how does it matter?
but it's pure discipline, right? And the curiosity.
Mhm.
For example, when I speak to Mr. Niranjan, I've had the honor to interact with him a couple of occasions. Trust me, he is more energetic than all the youngsters at the age of 73 at 11 p.m. And the
Damn.
next day I see his story on Instagram and he's waking up at 6 a.m. and doing yoga with he has a school, so with so I think that zeal is very important, and you can be successful in any industry, not just real estate.
Fair.
Also, I think it's very important to be in a blue ocean. Don't do what everybody else is doing.
Okay.
Try to be different. Think of a real problem. I think the best entrepreneurs are the ones first find a problem,
Right.
not crib about it. Find a solution to that problem.
Right.
ये ऐसा है, ये वैसा है. What have you done about it?
Right.
Have you
Basically,
done something about it?
start doing than just talking about it.
Yeah. So I think today I see a lot of people curse builders. Can you become a builder? Can you handle that stress? You can't.
Nice point.
You
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
It is not an easy job, and being a builder is actually the most relentless job. It's a crazy job. I think to be a builder, you need to have the ability to take stress. And suddenly,
Absolutely.
there'll be a probably teenager who'll just be like, "Arey, ye to chor hai." You don't even know what he's going through,
Yeah.
right? So I think
True that.
it's more about understanding things and being a bit more mature about things and finding that solution.
Right. Right. Sagar bhai, same question at you also. Ki very valid point Mayank has said. Ki if you want to earn more money, get disciplined, get focused, and just be relentless.
Right.
Take that stress also. I think in a way. What is your take? How can one make more money? Forget real estate. ऐसे भी कि आज मुझे मन कर रहा है कि मैं 35-40 करोड़ का अगर घर अफोर्ड कर सकूं, तो उसके लिए मुझे बहुत पैसा कमाना पड़ेगा. जस्ट बॉल पार्क में ऐसा
आई एम अ वेरी मच फॉलोअर ऑफ भागवत गीता. तो आप कोई भी बिजनेस कर रहे हो, आप चाहे रियल एस्टेट कर रहे हो, या आप इंजीनियर हो, या आप आर्किटेक्ट हो, कुछ भी आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो, जो बेसिक चीजें होती है वो मैटर करती है. अभी जैसे खाना आप बना रहे हो, कोई भी सब्जी आप बना रहे हो, नमक मेन होता है, मिर्ची मेन होती है, हल्दी मेन होती है, वो सब चीजें मेन होती है. वैसे ही आप कोई भी बिजनेस कर रहे हो, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऑनेस्टी इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. सेकेंडली हार्ड वर्क. ओके, देयर इज नो सब्स्टिट्यूट टू हार्ड वर्क. जो ये बहुत सारे मोटिवेशनल वीडियोस आते हैं ना, स्मार्ट वर्क करो, ये करो, वो सब झूठ बोलते हैं. वो लोग भी सुबह 8 बजे उठ के वो वीडियोस बनाते हैं, राइट? तो वो हार्ड वर्किंग है. सो देयर इज नो सब्स्टिट्यूट टू दैट. कंसिस्टेंसी. जो मेरी कंपनी का नाम है ड्रीम प्रॉपर्टीज. ड्रीम, आपको पहले सोचना पड़ेगा,
विजुअलाइज इट इन योर हेड.
यस, मैं वो 40 करोड़ का घर खरीद सकता हूँ. जो भी सारा चीजें बनाया, लैम्बोर्गिनी मेरे लिए तो बनी है, वो विजय माल्या ने स्काई विला बनाया वहां पे, कोई ले नहीं पाया, क्या फर्क पड़ता है, मैं लूंगा. वो खुद नहीं रह पाया, शायद से उसने मेरे लिए बनाया हुआ है. सो यू हैव टू थिंक दैट, यू हैव टू ड्रीम बिग. उसके लिए आपने वो नॉलेज भी हासिल करनी पड़ेगी. आज सचिन इतने, उसको गॉड ऑफ क्रिकेट क्यों कहा जाता है? बिकॉज ही बिकेम अ मास्टर इन दैट फील्ड. सो यू हैव टू बिकम वॉट एवर फील्ड यू आर डूइंग. जैसे अगर आप चाय बना रहे हो तो बेस्ट चाय बना रहे हो, आप शेफ हो, बेस्ट खाना बना रहे हो. तो उसी तरीके से आप जो भी फील्ड में हो वो आप बेस्ट कर रहे हो, तो नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल.
हाउ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट है, बहुत ही अच्छा पॉइंट है.
एक 40 करोड़ का फ्लैट आपके लिए 4 करोड़ का नहीं होगा. बिल्डर क्यों, वो तो बेच रहा है ना 40 करोड़ का. So I think you be realistic.
Yes.
At least start. अगर who's telling a person to buy a 5 crore flat? Buy a 2 crore flat if you can afford it. Buy a 80 lakh flat.
Yes.
Home loan today is one of the cheapest kind of loans there is to offer in India. Personal loans, business loans are way more expensive. Right? Today, even at I think 8.5, 8.6% per annum, a home loan is the cheapest kind of loan.
Offer at 8.3%.
Yeah. So it's still the cheapest kind of loan available to a person in today's time. You can, if you want to buy a 1 crore home, आपको 20%, say you're giving 20% down payment.
20% की जरूरत नहीं है.
Strive for, that 20 lakhs.
Yeah.
If, it's 20/80, right? Depending on the project, right? Strive to get the 20 lakhs, save the 20 lakhs first. Save money for the stamp duty, right? Then be eligible for the remaining 80 lakhs. Take a home loan, take a plunge, Markets will never change for you, There's so many people who tell me that, okay, abhi market girega. अगले साल लेता हूँ, they never end up buying any property. I have the same people on my phone for 5-6 years and never bought anything, and they'll never buy anything.
So there is one saying on this: the last best time to buy a property was yesterday, and the next best time is today.
Correct. Very interesting. सही है यार. I'm loving the conversation. इसी का extension कह सकते हैं, मतलब the thing that I can think of a way of making money is investments. Right? Real estate काफी अच्छा ripe एक चीज है, एक asset class है जिसमें you can invest and have good returns. अभी इसमें it could sound like a very stupid question, please forgive me for that, but जो real estate के बाहर हैं उन लोगों को लगता है कि residential properties में that's an investment also. First home तो खरीद लिया, अब second home ले लो या फिर पहला वाले ले लो, उसका रेंट भी आ रहा है और हमारा भी जो EMI है वो उससे निकल जाएगा, तो मे बी स्टे ऑफ हो जाएगा, कहीं पे हम लोग को नो कॉस्ट पे हमें घर पड़ जाएगा. दैट इज देयर चेन ऑफ थॉट. दे डोंट अंडरस्टैंड कि यार कमर्शियल प्रॉपर्टीज इज अ वेरी गुड वे ऑफ इन्वेस्टमेंट, क्योंकि उसमें आपको रिटर्न्स काफी अच्छे मिलेंगे. इस पे यार आई वांटेड बोथ ऑफ योर्स ओपिनियन कि क्यों ऐसा है कि कमर्शियल पे हमें क्यों इतना अच्छा रिटर्न मिल रहा है, रेजिडेंशियल जबकि भर भर के है इतना, उसका द रेट्स आर स्काई रॉकेटिंग. तो व्हाई इज इट दैट उतना लेवल पे हमें वो रिटर्न्स नहीं मिलता है, एंड व्हाई आर द पीपल नॉट अवेयर ऑफ दिस फैक्ट?
So I've made quite a few reels on that. The Indians are emotional people. They're obsessed with roti kapda makan. It wasn't roti kapda office.
Roti kapda dukan. That should be the next best.
Right. That'll be, and that's dukan is a great investment, by the way. Retail is a great investment, right? Or it's not roti kapda property. It's roti kapda makan always. So I think somewhere down the line we're tuned to really like the concept of makan and a house. Right now, obviously, a house, at least I think one person should at least own one home.
Right.
That's, let's leave investments aside. So basic security, right? Unlike the Western countries, agar aap today, once you're old, I interact with a lot of younger people in their early 20s, flamboyant, bro, who needs a house? Put that money in Bitcoin and stuff. Let me tell you, if you're 65, broke, with no house, where will you go in India?
Correct.
Think of that, because it's not like the Western countries, like Canada, government is paying you money, $2,000 per month welfare. India, the government is trying, but we're just too many people. So you have to fend for yourself, to build your own property. So security is very, very important. You don't definitely one home. Once you have that, then you can look at, property as an investment. I would say, and then of course you can, dip your beak in commercial offices, warehouses, dukan, right? Because see what happens when you look at rental yields. The rental yield gross in India for residential properties is about 2.5 to 3% gross. This is without setting off the maintenance, right? When you look at commercial properties, it's generally about 5 to 6%, which is almost double. In warehousing, right? If go grade A warehouses where you have a grade A tenant for a period of 9 to 15 years lease, I've seen warehouses where the rental yield is as high as 9% gross. Yes,
Crazy
gross, right? So if you're looking at rental yield, I think commercial is obviously a better investment, but then don't get your emotions involved, because I've again had clients where who tell me, Mayank, listen, I'm an investor, I want rent. We tend to show them commercial properties. Pata chalta hai in the end they buy a house. So like, and in fact, if you're looking at capital appreciation, my favorite type of investment is land. I mean, pound for pound capital appreciation, nothing comes close to land.
Yeah, but how unsecured is buying a land? How is it safe?
Of course,
कितना
you have to be in it. It's just like the stock market. You can't just wake up on a Monday and आज मैं इस stock में डालेगा पैसा.
Right.
You need a wealth manager to guide you. Similarly, in land, we are the kind of wealth manager, because we've been doing this for so long. These are daily bread butter. So in any kind of investment, right, you have to consult people. And yeah, the land can get risky, just like how stock markets can get risky, just how probably a crypto can get risky.
तो यार मतलब सबसे ज्यादा टाइटल क्लियरिंग इश्यूज तो लैंड में ही आते हैं. दैट इज व्हाई ऑल दीज डिस्प्यूट्स हैपन. दैट इज द मेजर फियर दैट पीपल हैव. यार मैंने लैंड ले ली, सर्च भी रिसर्च भी करवा ली, लॉयर्स भी लगा लिए, कहीं पे एक चीज मिस हो गई, टाइटल पे कुछ क्लियर नहीं है, तो वहां वो फंस जाएगा. उसने पैसा दे दिया लेकिन वो फंस गया. देन मूवीज आर सच अ बिग सोर्स ऑफ थ्रेट, मतलब इंफॉर्मेशन रादर. हमें लगता है कि यार कोई भी आके गुंडा आके कब्जा कर लेगा तो मैं क्या कर लूंगा, मैं तो एक नॉर्मल आदमी हूँ भाई, मैं कोई फेंस भी बना लिया, किसी ने आके तोड़ के घुस गया तो मैं क्या?
Funny story, by the way, in my land in Shahpur. So, I'll just digress a bit. I bought this land in Shahpur, and the moment I have a thing, the moment I buy it, I put a fence, right? And Shahpur mein kya hai, there are a lot of cows there. So what you have to do is, if you put a, sort of a pole fence or like a very weak wall kind of fence, the prefab, they can break it, right? वो ईटा की fence डाला, so there's just the possibility it might get broken. So we put a barbed wire fence. Of course, it's cheap as well, and does its job. I buy this land, up till 6 months. I mean, I didn't go and check it out. It was just an investment. Now, after 6 months, I go there, and obviously, it was saved on my Google map. I go there, I'm like, where's my land? Like, you can't steal land, no? It's on the earth. I go there, I couldn't recognize it because I'm not seeing my barbed wire fence. Turns out somebody stole the barbed wire fence.
Are you serious?
पूरा उड़ा के लेके गया 7.5 acres का. Imagine stealing the security feature.
Crazy.
Imagine someone steals your door in your house.
Yeah, but when whole
the
electric
lock.
towers are getting stolen, this is a story you heard, right? An entire electric tower, pura ka pura network tower, the electric that was stolen.
Wow.
So fence. Oh shit! But this is.
So I was like, so things happen, but these things can't. Another thing, at least now in most states, the revenue records are online,
Right.
right? Which is at least presumptive ownership,
Mhm.
right? So gone are the days where I mean, I'm sure it still happens in tier 3, but at least in like tier 1 and tier 2 now.
It's much safer, you're saying.
But did you find your land?
I was standing on it, except the
Fence कहाँ गई? Right. But अभी भी यार, my question is कि let's say कब्जा कर लिया अगर किसी ने, तो मैं क्या कर लूंगा यार? मतलब okay, so are you saying कि the person who has the power to buy land also has the power to hire a good lawyer और फिर करेगा? But for a normal man,
precaution is better than cure. You should never come to a stage of hiring a lawyer. You're hiring a lawyer, that means you're probably in the water.
Right.
That's true. Right. But how do you avoid that?
Get a watchman, get cameras, or you know what? Best way, keep visiting your land.
Okay. How frequently should that be?
Depends on you how close. So now what we are doing is we're trying to consolidate everything in one place. At least once in 2 months. You have to nurture it. It's just like a plant.
Mm-hmm.
When
So
you
there is one.
have a plant in your office, you want to keep watering it. Go keep looking at your land.
There was one case. मेरे जो कुछ relatives हैं, they are in London. तो उनकी बाप दादाओं की बहुत सारी जमीन है गुजरात में. तो they had given on rent, but and they keep visiting it, like every 1 or 2 years कोई बेटा या पोता या कोई ना कोई आके देखता रहता है. तो एक बार वो लोग आए एंड उन्होंने देखा कि वो टेनेंट्स तो है ही नहीं वहां पे और गुंडों ने कब्जा कर लिया वो लैंड. और जब वो वहां पे गए, he was like a 50-year-old man, 2 जीप्स भर के, जैसे पिक्चर में दिखाया जाता है वैसे गुंडे लोग आए एंड विथ थोड़े, किसी के पास गन्स भी थे और किसी के पास वो कोयता और वो सब था. तो ही गॉट स्कैर्ड और उसने उससे बात करना भी जरूरत नहीं समझा, एंड ही गॉट सो स्कैर्ड दैट ही टुक अ फ्लाइट एंड ही वेंट बैक टू लंदन. तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या करना चाहिए आपके हिसाब से?
Luckily, I've never encountered someone with guns on land. I mean, but I think things have become better. All the encroachments you see in Bombay are encroachments done more than 30 years ago, right? Look, in any kind of industry, there are risks associated, right? That should not make you not do it.
Fair.
Find a way to solve that, issue, and go ahead and do it.
ये आपका जो land था, for which your relative went back, where was this? Mumbai itself?
No, it was in Gujarat.
Still
लेकिन
गुजरात में कहाँ पे?
मैंने भी उनको बोला कि आप एक्शन लीजिए, लीगल एक्शन ऑब्वियसली पॉसिबल है, बिकॉज लॉ के ऊपर तो कोई भी नहीं है, गुंडे लोग को भी खाली करना पड़ेगा.
Right.
बट या देयर आर लाइक कि जो भाइयों के नाम पे लैंड था वो सारे भाई गुजर चुके हैं, 3-4 भाई, एंड उसके नाम पे तो उनको एक लंबे प्रोसेस के थ्रू गुजरना पड़ेगा कि उनको वो ट्रांसफर करना पड़ेगा, एंड आफ्टर दैट दे कैन सॉर्ट इट. बट या
So मतलब see that is what I'm saying कि यहाँ पे I'm assuming कि this was a tier 2 या tier 3 city जहाँ पे उन्होंने लैंड लिया रहेगा, वहाँ पे like you're saying कि ये हो रहे हैं इश्यूज अभी भी. ये प्रोसेस से नॉर्मल मैन और इवन फॉर दैट मैटर इवन द पीपल हु आर मेकिंग गुड मनी ना, इवन दे आर लाइक वेरी कि यार मुझे नहीं पढ़ना इस सब पचड़े में. हु वांट्स टू गेट इन्वॉल्व विद लॉ डायरेक्टली अनलेस यू आर एन एंटरप्रेन्योर हु हैज बीन डीलिंग विद लॉ डे इन डे आउट. ऐसे हैं बहुत सारे लोग, इवन आई एम अवेयर कि उन लोगों के लिए यार
कॉन्सेप्ट
खाने का काम है, तो उनके लिए तो इट बिकम्स अ सेकंड नेचर कि हाँ ठीक है ये लॉयर लगाए, ये क्या हो गया, दे आर अवेयर. बट पीपल हु डोंट नो अबाउट दिस शिट ना, जिनको नहीं पता है उनके लिए बिकम्स अ ह्यूज हेडेक कि
हाँ,
यार अब
बट
मेरे को पहले
ही इज डूइंग अ वेरी गुड थिंग ना कि अगर आपको लैंड खरीदना है तो मयंक जी से खरीदिए बिकॉज वो
या
ही इज टेकिंग केयर ऑफ द लायबिलिटी पार्ट ना कि जैसे
Yeah.
कि उनका विजिटिंग
अच्छा
हो
okay
रहा
so
है.
this is nice.
Yes.
We make sure the land is, now we're very active in Alibag, for example. Obviously, Alibag is a very lavish pin code. There's no encroachment in Alibag. But in other parts where we've aggregated land banks in Karjat, Shahpur, Murbad, all these other areas as well, all across Maharashtra, near Nagpur. What happens is you must visit your land there. Or you must have somebody to visit for you,
Yes.
right? If you're extra
And that too
paranoid.
somebody trustworthy.
Yeah. And if you have more money to spend, then you hire a watchman at least,
Mhm.
and hope he himself doesn't encroach.
I know, right? I know. पता लगा you come 6 months later and
Kill-
there's a
घर
family in
घर का
hospital.
बेदी लंका था.
Right, right. Mayank, I want to understand कि जब आपने शुरू किया था, you said कि आपने lands में शुरू किया and all. So how was this process? I want to understand the process. कि when Mayank started, so how much money you started with, and how did you step by step build on that corpus? क्या investment किए? I don't want the nitty gritties. You don't have to share if you don't want to. But if you want to, please. And a great learning. But मुझे ये समझना है कि यार कैसे किया? How did you reach here where you are? The content part definitely, but other two businesses that you're running, that's
I think the most important is you have to reinvest your money that you get. You have to. Now, luckily, when I started, I was very young. I started at the age of 22. That time we don't stay out of college. I haven't done MBA, guys, so I've saved those 2 years.
I think you said you're an engineer, right?
Yes.
Which engineer? Are you?
Electronics and communication. I major in satellite broadcasting.
All
There's a
right.
joke in my family. तुम सीधे आसमान से जमीन पे आ गए. Right?
Okay.
So, long story short, you have to reinvest your funds back in your business. I started off with 1 lakh rupees. When you start in brokerage, you don't even need that 1 lakh, to be honest.
Yeah.
1 lakh also I felt was too much that time, because and what happens is the beauty of brokerage, right? There's no other business in the world like this where आप direct zero से hero बन सकते हो without any investment. I'll give you an example, right? Say you're a real estate agent at Bombay में, you're in South Bombay, for example, right? You have no money, right? You're young, you're in your 20s. You have to just connect to people, right? एक flat है मेरी building में, for example. Say that flat is worth 8 crores, right? I find a buyer when I'm going out somewhere, right? Obviously, you need that stroke of luck. You do, right? But the harder you work, the luckier you get. More meetings you get, the more luckier you'll get. Imagine you just find a buyer. You're going to buy a flat. You can get 2%. You can make 16 lakh rupees with one transaction. Even if I look at the cheapest kind of apartment, the most affordable kind of apartments in Mumbai, which is like, I would say 1 crore is, I think
1 CR minimum.
1 CR is like a minimum. In a place like Mumbai, can't you sell one apartment per month? Even if you sell one apartment per month, that's 2 lakh rupees.
2 lakh rupees, bro.
That's what top colleges graduates get. Your IIT, your IIM, that's the entry salary for those guys. That's great money, right? So I think with deals, start getting money and stuff. But what's critical is, so I've always looked at business money, and I'm not even joking. I've always looked at it like, in video games you have those coins. It's just like that for me.
Right.
In a game, you'll spend those coins on things like that. You need to look at your business. If I get, like, for example, assuming 10 lakhs revenue, you did a deal, you get 10 lakhs, put it all back in your business.
Right.
So I think it was easier to do also in your 20s because you didn't have too many expenses. Obviously now it'll be harder because you need to take money back home. So I'm so glad I started earlier. Easier to bootstrap that time.
That was a very smart move, I would
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
कि all the entrepreneurs जो भी आ रहे हैं ना up and coming, start as early as possible. Burn your fingers if you have to,
Yeah.
and learn, and then
Because imagine if you're a married man in your 30s, mid-30s, you have 2 kids and a wife. You can't reinvest things back. Let's be practical. So it's harder for them. I'll give it that for sure. Luckily, when I started, barely any expenses. I was living with my parents. There's no rent. There's no kharcha.
बट वो लोग बिजनेस पार्टनर्स तो बन ही सकते हैं, जैसे कि हम लोग हायर करते हैं लाइक 50-50 कमीशन पे, तो
कैसे मतलब what is this model क्या है?
सो
मैं आ रहा हूँ, मैं कल ही आ रहा हूँ आपके पास में. Tell me more.
we are one of the highest brokerage payout companies in the market, as in like
Okay.
because we are not in the capitalist mindset. हम चाहते हैं कि आप भी कमाओ और हम भी कमाएं, तो we work more on the partnership basis rather than so you're not my employee, you are my business partner. So आप जो भी deals close करते हो उसमें 40% 50% तक आप कमीशन ले सकते हो, यानी कि जैसे कि आपने बताया एक डील क्लोज करने पे 16 लाख रुपए है, 8 लाख तेरा, 8 लाख मेरा. Day one से you are earning very much, and plus आपको कोई इन्वेस्ट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. ऑफिस भी मेरा, ब्रांड भी मेरा, कुर्सी भी मेरी, लैपटॉप भी मेरा, सिम कार्ड भी मेरा, सब कुछ
तो बेसिकली
क्लाइंट भी मेरा,
प्रॉपर्टी क्लाइंट आपके पास में है,
प्रॉपर्टीज भी मैं दूंगा.
प्रॉपर्टीज आप दे रहे हो, द पर्सन नीड्स टू गेट द राइट बायर एंड यू मैच देम एंड देन 50%
कई
लेके
बार तो ऐसा होता है कि अभी जस्ट मेरे एक बंदे ने डील की, ही इज जस्ट अ ग्रेजुएट, ही डजंट नो टू स्पीक फ्लुएंट इंग्लिश एज वेल, और उसकी लास्ट मंथ की इनकम 4 लाख रुपए.
व्हाट आर यू
Fantastic.
तो मैंने उसको बताया कि
गाइस, इंटरनल टीम ऐसा है कि अगर ये पॉडकास्ट सीरीज अब
सब
हमारे
लोग ये सागर को ज्वाइन करने वाले हैं.
नेक्स्ट पॉडकास्ट सागर भाई की तरफ से स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय सागर भाई यार, आई एम सॉरी.
तो या ही अर्नड सम गुड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, और उसमें क्लाइंट भी मैंने दिया था, और मैंने उसको बताया था कि ये प्रॉपर्टी उसको दिखा दे. सो उसने कुछ किया ही नहीं एक्चुअली, उसने सिर्फ दिखा दिया. बट या आई फील दैट हिज लक वर्क. कोई भी आप करते हो तो 80% हार्डवर्क रहता है और 20% लक रहता है. तो हिज लक वर्क, एंड दिस सो या गाइस, वी आर हायरिंग अगेन. अगर आपको जॉब चाहिए तो सॉरी जॉब नहीं, बिजनेस पार्टनर बनना है, बिजनेस चालू करना है जीरो इन्वेस्टमेंट में.
perfect सागर भाई at his best. I love it. He does this ऐसा he has a knack of doing self marketing यार से ऐसा while बातों
You
बातों
gotta
में
never stop selling in marketing. Never. Always be curious.
लास्ट एपिसोड में भी मैंने बोला था I really appreciate this. You have a knack for it.
A
Brilliant.
true entrepreneur.
Absolutely agree. Guys, having a lot of fun, but we are reaching the finality of the podcast. Everybody's time bound here. I understand that you have to go to you're going to Bali, right?
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. How amazing. How amazing. So यार ये क्वेश्चन तो मेरा स्टीरियोटिपिकल है. इनसे तो मैं 2-3 बार पता नहीं कितनी बार पूछ चुका हूँ. I'm gonna direct this question to you कि you have dealt with clients day in and day out, right? On the face of it. One worst experience that you had which made you think कि गलत लाइन सिलेक्ट कर ली भाई, नहीं जाना चाहिए था. That is one. And there's another experience which made you think कि यार this is it, the best decision of my life. I'm here, I have arrived, I gave somebody that happiness and that made you feel like कि बस.
So I'll talk about the best first, and then we go to the worst. So one of my clients, and I was glad it happened early on in my career. Very good client. He used to live in Chembur. I met him, and it was a cold call lead, by the way, which I had personally cold call. उस time तो पैसे थे नहीं telecaller के. Right, you get the data, you call yourself. Right. I think every agent knows that, the hustle and the thrill of that at the same time. Call this client, he picks up. He's pretty, stuck up at that point of time. Then, I showed him some projects in Chamber. And this is back in the day, right? For 9 years ago, I would say. He really connected somehow. Great guy. And, that stuck up behavior just got shattered, right? And we cracked a lot of jokes, became like a friend. And he's significantly older than me. He was 20 years older than me. Still, we're still in touch. Right. In fact, he's bought like I think 3 to 4 homes right now through us over the period of time.
Loyal customer.
Yeah, very loyal. And I'm just coming to how loyal he was. So 2 weekends we went out, right? Chembur. Then suddenly he like, यार मैं budget नहीं है Chembur का. Like I said, be realistic. Like चलो थाने जाते हैं, right? Showed him a couple of projects. Still, he wanted to see more. So I'm like, okay, ठीक है. Then you know what? Towards the end, after like 2-3 meetings with him, he would just go on Saturday, Sundays. Like, Mayank, aa raha hai kya? I'm like, listen, today I'm with somebody else. I didn't have a team. I'm so sorry, I'm booked out. Like, no worries, bro. I'm going to go to and he knew the tagging process, right? He would go to the builder, and without me being in it, he will write my name on the tagging form and he'll sign.
Wow.
And he's done that with all projects. He's seen 5-6 projects without me. And he's like, Mayank, I'll just write your name. Then I saw it through you.
क्या बात है?
He would discover the project on his own. I didn't even know that project.
Sub customers
Exactly, right? I didn't even know that project. And let me tell you, we booked a project as well. Yeah. So what a guy, great guy. You just go like, okay, I came through Mayank. He's not here, but he'll write my name, this thing, and he'll sign across it.
Would you like to give a shout out to him on that episode?
Big shout out, Mr. Shivat. You were a legend.
Nice. उनको हम स्पेशली भेजेंगे वाला एपिसोड.
Very good guy. Of course, his family also, his in-laws also ended up buying, apartments through us.
क्या मतलब perfect
builders भी सोचते होंगे कौन है ये मयंक अग्रवाल.
Which is very good. And I think for all agents, at least you must have a good relationship with your buyer. It's critical, right?
It needs to get less transactional,
Yeah.
more personal. Everybody keeps saying कि it's a personal art, it's a personal thing, but make it personal.
Correct.
Business is a matter of relationships.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now though, coming to the worst, got plenty. Which one to choose from?
दो भी बता सकते हैं, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
You have all night.
मतलब
I'll go to Bali straight from here.
अब तो ऐसा है कि कॉफी की जगह you want beers, we can.
Absolutely fine. The stories will get even more bold after that. So, and more unfiltered. I had this one client. It was a project in Lal Bagh, right? This client comes, and you know the tagging process,
Right.
wretched tagging process. He comes, I ask him what his name was. He gives me a name that, okay, and I ask him for his, it was a lead had come through one of my guys. We go there, we fill the, walk-in form. He puts this name, he puts this number, see the flat, all done. The next weekend, I get a frantic phone call from the closing manager.
You booked it
Mayank,
directly.
your client has come right now with somebody else. I'm like, tagging apne naam pe. Big difference, right? I go there and I find out that the first time he had come, he had put a wrong name and a wrong phone number.
What the
And
hell?
the second time he came, he put his right name and his right number. He knew the tagging process so well. So I couldn't even technically and legally win that case.
So,
And that broker who he had come with was his nephew.
oh my
उस बंदे ने रेरा आईडी निकाला nephew का so that he gets the entire pass back of 2.5%.
Wow, brilliant.
Mastermind, but I hate you.
No, but you didn't check like, so as we do customer profile verification, Truecaller देखता है, फिर उसका थोड़ा Facebook खोल के
No, but
देखते
you
हैं।
know, see, sometimes it all happens so quickly, right? He comes in and they come, 4-5 people ka family. So
Oh.
you don't expect someone to do that, right?
Oh.
Since then, of course, you've been more
Cautious.
But I thought, ठीक है, किसी का number डाल देगा, बाप, whoever,
Mhm.
put somebody else's number.
But you know,
And the closing manager is like, listen, what do I even do? Because
Right.
I show it to my seniors, the name is only wrong.
and he has
Put
he booked it.
He booked a flat. Booked a
Kitna-
4 BHK and he booked, it was worth
कितने का
12,
था?
12 crores. 12 crores,
I
guys.
don't know what
30
to
लाख
say.
रुपए का नुकसान।
30 lakh रुपए का नुकसान.
I do not know what to say here. Man.
Yeah, I've lost 30 lakh rupees. It's
30
okay.
lakh rupees.
But shit happens.
Yeah. मेरे साथ अभी ये recently हुआ।
अगर वो बिल्डिंग अटकती ना बहुत मजा आता है. बहुत मजा आता है यार, बट नहीं अटकी वो. ठीक है, it was a good project.
रफीक भाई said कि यार सब मेरे नसीब में नहीं था बोल के आगे बढ़ गए.
Absolutely.
जो मेरा था ही नहीं, वो मैंने-
Exactly.
नहीं यार, but these are some very bad experiences.
He has one more bad experience to say. Sharma.
Yeah, plenty. So, I think in land, oh God, where do I begin? There's so many times where, guys like, okay, this is my land, and you're buying from a farmer, and farmers have like, 7-8 people. One guy comes, poses to be the farmer quickly. He like, देखो ये land जाने वाला है, token दे दीजिए. The land is like, say, 2 crores. They'll ask for a 50,000 rupee token or a 1 lakh rupee token. Now, 1 lakh is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when you compare it to the transaction value. Right? And of course, fear of loss. When you want that really badly, okay, I can flip it in the next year for, probably 30%, 40% more. Like, okay, chal, let's give 1 lakh. और token लेके भाग गया.
Oh shit, and he was not even the owner of the land?
Turns out that, and a lot of, some, farmers even do this. They will take tokens from 20 people.
Oh, yeah.
They'll do it. They don't care. Let the land go into litigation. Now,
Right.
will you actually litigate and follow up for your 1 lakh? You will not. That time that you spend on that will be more expensive. So let go. Token मेरे भाग के लेके गए लोग. It's fine.
Any fights happened anytime?
How often does this happen though?
If you're not careful, it can happen pretty often.
So how do you tackle this then?
So we firstly make sure that that guy is a real owner. Number 2, we now don't give tokens unless the due diligence is done. एक और चीज होता है, क्या होता है, you'll generally tend to give a token on a land that you like, then you do the search report and due diligence, and you come to know probably land में time लगता है, right? You at least take 1 month, with the most aggressive advocate to find out if the title is clear or not. 15 दिन तो आपके न्यूज़पेपर नोटिस में चले जाएंगे for objections. 30 days बाद मान लीजिए अगर टाइटल क्लियर नहीं हुआ, you are not getting your token back from the farmer. There's no chance you get your token back.
Correct.
खर्च हो गए सर, गणपति था, दिवाली था, खर्च.
अभी you're not gonna catch hold of the farmer and say कि भाई मेरा पैसा नहीं
नहीं, वो
So do you
तो-
want to litigate, then what will you do, right? That happens.
Right.
So we try, obviously there's some element of risk, but we generally, when we're dealing with farmers or locals, we make sure we tell them that, what, give us your NOC, let us do the newspaper notice, let's do the title, due diligence of the title. Once we know everything is clear, we'll give 100% payment to
Advance.
you.
क्या बात?
So what are
That's
the
the-
documents that you see for this this
Plenty.
good thing for
Yeah.
the viewers?
Yeah, of course, plenty of documents. You need to first assess the correct flow of title.
Right.
For example, he sells to him, he sells to you.
Hmm.
Now you sell to him.
Hmm.
Turns out he is selling that to me. You have to
Oh.
are you even the rightful owner?
Yeah.
If he's selling it to me, I have to understand how did he get the land. So you have to
uh,
read this thing known as mutation entries.
chain of documents.
Chain of and fair it's called.
Mm-hmm.
612 extracts. You have to read it in
Hmm.
conjunction with your Saat Baras. Basically, so
Hmm.
you assess the mutation, transfer
Hmm.
of ownership. That's one thing that's critical. Secondly, you have to understand. You have to give a newspaper notice
Right.
to invite objections.
Correct.
Hmm.
क्या किसी ने tokens लिए हैं? If you are the seller, what if you've taken tokens from your neighbor?
Hmm.
Now, earlier I used to think, क्या होगा newspaper notice से? Who reads the newspaper? But let me tell you, I've got the maximum objections, in fact, from local newspapers.
Right.
Crucible Times, guys, you saved me a lot of times. Marathi newspaper, वहीं से objection आता है.
Oh,
So, we
yeah.
get objections as well from
Crazy.
newspaper notices. अरे इसने तो मेरे से token लिया है. I object this transaction from happening.
Hmm.
That third, you need to know which zone your land falls under.
Right.
Extremely important. Say you want to build a home. What if your land falls in forest zone? Oh God, good God, you are screwed if that happens.
Right.
If your land falls in NDZ, no development zone, there's nothing you can do.
Correct.
आप एक झंडा भी नहीं गाड़ सकते except for that. So you can't, so your money is gone, right? See the permissible activities in that zone your land falls under. That's very, very critical.
Right.
Fourth, fifth, I would like to say do a survey of the land.
Okay.
Official, if you have time, do a government survey, but at least do a private survey first quickly to understand the actual measurement of the land. बेचने वाला बोला 30 गुंठे का है,
Hmm.
right? But क्या वो 30 गुंठे का है? क्या वो 1 एकड़ का है? क्या वो 2 एकड़ का है?
True that.
Right? You'll
People, I
always
don't think,
find
हाँ.
discrepancy.
Okay.
Right? You need to do a survey. Also, you need to know the position of the land. See, today, what's your office number? 203. Now, when I come, I know 203 is on the second floor because इसकी 4 दीवार है. It has to be here, common sense, the flat. What if I tell you today, this is my land? But what if you find out the land is actually not there? It's open. Just because I built a barbed wire doesn't mean the land is there. After so you find out, okay, the position of the land is here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not here, it's here. So you have to superimpose in a survey, land actually किधर है?
Hmm.
Superimpose the map with the physical and understand. So a lot of times
Oh.
we find out कि अरे land यहाँ था, survey क्या पता चला actually land वहाँ नहीं, थोड़ा इधर है और नाले में जा रहा है.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
So all these things you have to
So what do you use total station surveys and all to?
we do surveys all the time, so we have to do surveys. It's very common in our industry. Also do a contour survey to see whether whether land is suitable or not. कभी भी क्या होता है वो जैसे कहावत मुर्गी से ज्यादा मसाले का cost. You see some land लेने का पता चला you have to do so much filling.
Mm-hmm.
It's 6 feet deep.
Oh my God.
Turns out with the naked eye, earlier I used to just look at land. Oh, पीछे पहाड़ दिख रहा है. Wow, what a beautiful land. Not used to get into regulations. Now we look at regulations. What we can build. Are we even allowed to build there?
Too deep, yeah, obviously.
Very, very. Mayank, yaar, this was a great conversation that I had. Although I say this at the end of every episode, but क्या होता है ना हर एपिसोड के बाद में मैं कुछ नया सीख जाता हूँ. आज भी I learned so many new things, and thank you guys for coming here. Before we leave though, ठीक है, सागर भाई से तो मैं definitely पूछूंगा. पहले सागर भाई आप. Again, one different message to our viewers today, and then Mayank, one from you. सागर भाई.
So guys, again, मैं वही चीज में आऊंगा. स्टॉक मार्केट्स कितना भी रिटर्न्स दे दे, गोल्ड कितना भी रिटर्न्स दे दे, लेकिन हिस्ट्री आप चेक कर लो, सबसे ज्यादा रिटर्न्स जो दिए हैं वो रियल एस्टेट ने दिए, बिकॉज इट इज अ फिजिकल एसेट. और जैसे कमर्शियल की बात की थी इन्होंने, कमर्शियल इन्वेस्टमेंट इज गिविंग मैक्सिमम रिटर्न्स. आप लोन ले रहे हो या आप खुद पे कर रहे हो, आपको जो रेंटल इनकम मिल रही है, जो प्री लीज प्रॉपर्टीज होती है, वी ऑल्सो डील इन टू प्री लीज प्रॉपर्टीज, वी हैव अ सेगमेंट ऑफ दैट. तो आप हमसे अगर कोई प्री लीज प्रॉपर्टी खरीदते हो, मैं आपको 6 to 7% या कुछ कुछ प्रॉपर्टीज में 8% रेंटल इनकम भी दूंगा. यानी कि बैंक का एफडी दे रहा है 6% रिटर्न्स, लेकिन मैं दे रहा हूं आपको 8% रिटर्न। एंड आज जो प्रॉपर्टी आप मेरे से 1 करोड़ की खरीद रहे हो वो 2-3 साल बाद 1.5 करोड़ की होगी। प्रॉपर्टी अप्रिसिएशन और जो आपका रेंटल है वो हर साल 5% बढ़ेगा, यानी कि 3-4 साल बाद वो 8% 10% हो जाएगा और अगले 10-15 साल बाद वो 15% 20% भी हो जाएगा। यानी कि आपका लोन का ईएमआई 9% या 10% है, लेकिन आपको जो रेंटल इनकम मिल रही है वो 20% है। और आपकी जो प्रॉपर्टी जो आपने 1 करोड़ की खरीदी थी जिसके ऊपर आप ईएमआई भर रहे हो उसकी वैल्यू आज 3 करोड़ हो चुकी है। सो कमर्शियल इन्वेस्टमेंट इज द बेस्ट एंड रियल एस्टेट इन्वेस्टमेंट इज द बेस्ट। और एक चीज बोलना चाहूंगा, कुछ लोग चांद देखते हैं, कुछ लोग कीचड़ देखते हैं। देखने वाले चांद में भी दाग देखते हैं और देखने वाले कीचड़ में भी कमल देखते हैं।
क्या बात,
नो हो
so good,
वाह वाह
so good. क्या बात है सागर भाई, ऑलवेज मजा आ जाता है। मयंक, one last message from you.
I would just, first message is for all the working professionals in the industry, guys, please, don't give misinformation to make that sale, right? You're playing with a person's life savings. It's almost like you are part of that robbery.
That is so true.
If you have purposely, if you know project अटका हुआ है और आप वो बेच रहे हैं, या आपको पता है कुछ प्रॉब्लम है, या आपको लगता है कभी गट फीलिंग आती है यार प्रोजेक्ट कभी खत्म नहीं होगा, बिल्डर का ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड बहुत खराब है, डोंट सेल दैट। बिकॉज अगर आपके कहने पे किसी ने 4 करोड़ डाल दिए, फॉर मी आई लुक एट दैट, ओके, यू रॉब्ड द 4 करोड़ फ्रॉम हिम एंड दैट शुड बी अ क्रिमिनल ऑफेंस। यू नो व्हाट आई मीन? इट्स बिकॉज आदमी खत्म हो जाता है वो।
इट्स लाइक अ सिन एज वेल,
Big sin.
लाइक उसके बाद इंसान मतलब जी कैसे पाएगा, मतलब ऐसे
खत्म।
रात को नींद कैसे आएगी उस इंसान को कि यार मैंने
looted the
इसको
person essentially.
या
And if in case you're ignorant about it, please increase your knowledge. Sometimes, nobody wants to come and scam. वो mismanagement होता है, ignorance है, right? So for that, of course, we have our courses. Upskill yourself, know the product you're selling, know the nuances behind it. Very, very important. Second thing is for the home buyers and for property investors, please enter a project or any property only after due diligence.
Right.
Know all the facts. आप ये प्रॉपर्टी मत लो क्योंकि आपके चाचे के बेटे के कुत्ते के पापा ने लिया है, या शर्मा जी के बेटे ने लिया है,
राइट।
Many times client tell me, अरे मेरे नेबर ने लिया है। Who is your neighbor? Is he a builder? Is he from real estate? No, he's from the banking sector. So how will he know whether it's a good investment?
True.
So don't follow people who don't know. They will not believe an agent who's in the industry, but they'll believe a friend who doesn't know anything about real estate.
Right.
So people say, oh, reference. I asked my friend for advice. Who is your friend? Is he in real estate? If he is, good. Keep it black and white. जो सच है वो सच है. And there are a lot of things you can come to know with due diligence.
बट आई थिंक ड्यू डिलिजेंस करने से अच्छा है हमारे जैसा एक रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट है, रख लो ना।
But I would say कि आप ड्यू डिलिजेंस करके फिर आइए
Yeah.
Yes.
रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स या कंसल्टेंट्स के पास, because even there people
Yeah,
are
of
not
course.
aware, मतलब not knowingly but unknowingly they don't know stuff.
यू हैव टू डील थ्रू अ रेरा रजिस्टर्ड रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट, यानी कि जिसने रेरा की एग्जाम पास की उसके पास लाइसेंस है। अगर आप बोलोगे कि मैंने रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट के थ्रू भी प्रॉपर्टी ली है फिर भी ये लफड़ा हो गया, तो गाइस वो आपकी गलती थी, आपने चेक नहीं किया कि उसकी ऑफिस है या नहीं है, वो पढ़ा लिखा रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट है या नहीं है। सॉरी गाइस, नो हर्टिंग टू एनी अदर रियल एस्टेट एजेंट्स, लेकिन रियल एस्टेट एजेंट होना और रियल एस्टेट का नॉलेज होना ये दोनों चीजें अलग अलग है। तो जिसके पास रियल एस्टेट का नॉलेज है उसके पास उसका लाइसेंस है, उसके थ्रू ही आप डील कीजिए, क्योंकि कल कुछ भी लफड़ा हो गया उसकी ऑफिस तो है ना।
Also, another thing with this goes with especially for all agents, right? Every real estate agent calls themselves real estate consultant. But are you a consultant? No, you're not. You're a salesman. So try being a consultant.
Right.
And don't be a sales guy.
वेरी नाइस पॉइंट।
Right? Stop being that sales guy, aggressive sales guy. ले लो। आपने अपने आप को रियल एस्टेट कंसल्टेंट बुलाया है कि आप कंसल्टेंसी दे रहे हो, जैसे डॉक्टर आपको कंसल्ट करता है, जैसे आपका लॉयर कंसल्ट करता है, जैसे आपका सीए आपको, दैट्स कॉल्ड कंसल्टेशन।
Correct.
When you go to a doctor, he diagnoses you and consults you. That is consultation, not showing him a flat and pushing him in that flat to buy. That's not. That's
Yes,
called
yes.
sales.
Yeah.
So
I
stop
totally
being an
agree.
agent. Be a consultant that you call yourself.
But thank you guys. What an amazing podcast this was. What an amazing conversation this was. Thank you for taking out the time, Mayank. I know you're an absolutely busy man. You took out time. You're here. I'm hoping that we can do another session sometime, anytime you want. Please feel free, because this is a platform which we personally believe in Brikkin कि हमारे जितने भी ये फ्रेटर्निटी में जो रियल एस्टेट चैनल पार्टनर्स है उनके लिए कोई वॉइस करने के लिए कोई प्लेटफॉर्म नहीं है. दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट टू बी, एंड वी हैव सक्सेसफुली डन दैट आल्सो फॉर द पास्ट मेनी मंथ्स, एंड वी होप दैट वी कंटिन्यू टू. तो प्लीज एट एनी गिवन टाइम यू फील कि यार हाँ मुझे कुछ, आई वांट टू ब्रिंग इट फोर्थ in front of the people. We are your go-to people. Apart from that, of course, I hope we stay friends. This is an absolutely fabulous session. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.